Hey guys, so it is getting pretty cold here in Maine. Um, so as most of you know, I have been, well, maybe not most of you, I guess people on YouTube probably don't know. All of my Facebook people know um, that for almost a year I've been battling with really severe anxiety and panic attacks. They started shortly after my pregnancy, and I thought it was something medical going on. I thought like something was wrong with my heart, or I had preeclampsia, or it was something that was causing these crazy symptoms that I was having. And then it wasn't until about 4 weeks ago that I realized it was actually anxiety when I looked at all of the symptoms. So in my pregnancy, I probably had 30 to 50 panic attacks in that pregnancy, and they were long lasting. So it would be like 1 to 2 hours, and then for the rest of the day, I just felt like crap. My symptoms were, flushed skin, like my body felt really, really hot. I would get really dizzy and I felt like I was gonna faint, and then I would kind of like hyperventilate. My heart would be pounding. My heart rate would be, it would depend. My resting during my pregnancy was like 110 to 130, which is pretty high. And then during like these attacks that I thought something medically was going on, my heart rate was going up, 150, 165, 175. And it's hard to like breathe when you feel like you can't breathe. So I had a lot of anxiety when it came to driving, because that was when I first almost fainted with my kids in the car. So that was kind of like when the panic disorder set in. Because I was just very fearful that it was going to happen again and something would happen to my kids. So I stopped driving for about 8 months, and I'm slowly like getting back into it since I've had my baby almost 6 weeks ago. But driving isn't my only trigger right now, which is the hardest thing for me to understand is, obviously when I get in a car to drive, one would assume like, yes, that would make me anxious. Yes, I could have an attack then because it's happened before and that's what I'm most fearful for. But there's other times that I start getting symptoms and I have no idea what the trigger is. Like the other day, we were driving to go see my son at the hospital, and just all of a sudden I just started feeling sick. So I don't get the same symptoms that I did in my pregnancy, where I was like literally feeling like I was dying. They do get kind of intense, but I think I know that I'm not going to die type of thing. So lately, like my symptoms have just been like, I've been really fidgety. So like I'll move my legs a lot, or I'll like rub my legs. My hands get really clammy, sweaty. Even the bottoms of my feet get sweaty. My heart doesn't really pound anymore. As my anxiety symptom, I get like a chest tightness, or like it almost feels like a burning sensation. And then I get like woozy. Like I just feel like, I've had, a couple glasses of wine. I'm very like woozy, feel like I might get sick, not really sure. My face gets flushed. It's like flushed all the time. But I don't like it. It's happening all the time. It's happening pretty much daily that I get this like weird sickness. So I was going to start anxiety medication, and I have had the absolute worst luck lately that I'm afraid to start the anxiety medication, because I start looking at all of the side effects and I feel like they're going to happen to me, because that's usually what happens. So I have anxiety about taking the anxiety medication. So I've been looking at natural approaches to like, come on, find something before I have to just cave and like, take this anxiety medication. So I started working out, because that naturally increases your serotonin levels. And usually anxiety is caused from low serotonin. Like I said, before my pregnancy, I didn't have anxiety attacks. Like I had them maybe once every couple of years, and they weren't what I was feeling right now. And I did like a little questionnaire, and it shows that I have moderate anxiety, which is pretty high. So I read that during pregnancy, obviously your hormones change, and hormones can have an effect on your serotonin levels. So I'm thinking that during my pregnancy, my hormones must have dropped my serotonin level. Usually it takes about 6 months before your bodies go back to the way that it was before pregnancy. So I'm just thinking of like anything possible. So I've started working out. I've been actually listening to guided meditations on YouTube, which I've never meditated before in my life. They seem to help me a little bit. Last night when I did it, it almost felt like my body, like when my eyes were closed, like it almost felt like I was spinning. So I had to open my eyes a couple times, but it has been helping to just kind of like let my body relax. And also they say like hot baths can help too. I've been using a lavender bath gel and lavender Epsom salt, because lavender is a calming essential oil and I love the smell anyways. But I've been researching CBD a lot. I've been skeptical. I've been kind of like nervous to try it. If you gave it to me 10 years ago or even last year, I would have been like, oh yeah, I'll take it. No problem. But of course now with all of the anxiety, I'm nervous to take anything, thinking like, well, what if it makes me dizzy, or what if it makes me feel woozy, or, you know, breathe fast. If I have any of those symptoms, my anxiety starts shooting up because I think that like an attack is coming, because those are like the, you know, the precursors. So anytime like that happens, I feel like on edge. So anyways, I stopped by a dispensary for the first time ever. We have so many. I mean, gosh, I feel like there's one on every corner, or even like more than that, because every corner would be even further away. So I stopped at a dispensary, and I'm learning a little bit about CBD and, you know, which ones to try. I wanted to try the gummies first, but I'm trying the chocolate first. And I'll show you what the chocolates look like in a second. And you can watch me take it for the first time, because I feel like maybe I'll be less nervous if I feel like everyone else is with me. So anyways, each little square is 10 milligrams. Obviously, if you cut that in half, it's 5. I'm probably going to take like the tiniest bite ever, which won't do anything for me, negative or positive. But I feel like if I can just try it a little and know like, okay, everything's okay. Like your body isn't going to like freak out when you take CBD. And CBD doesn't contain THC, you know, which gets you high. I definitely don't want that, because back in the day, you know, that stuff would make me like paranoid. So definitely not something you want to take if you have anxiety bad. So there's no THC, it's just CBD, but I just need to like get myself to just take it, because anxiety is not fun to live with, you guys. It's awful. There's days that I'm like, oh my God, like I can't even function. Like I feel like I'm a burden to my husband, because I like constantly need someone to be around with me. I constantly am like afraid that I'm gonna have an attack. When I start to get dizzy, like when I'm by myself, I start to panic. So it's not what the life that I want. I'm 30 and I shouldn't be feeling this way right now. I should be healthy and happy and okay. So yeah, I'm trying CBD for the first time today, and I'm really praying that it helps me. Like I need something, please help naturally and get rid of this stupid anxiety. I hate it. I decided that I'm actually gonna work out in the evening, not in the day. And so I'm getting ready to start my CBD. This is what it looks like. Right there. It's a CBD milk chocolate bar. Each little square contains 10 milligrams of CBD. It has Belgian milk chocolate, cocoa butter, CBD isolate, and some sunflower something. There we go. So it does say do not drive, but this doesn't have any THC in it. So this isn't going to have any psychomatic symptoms or anything, so you can drive, is what they've said. Open up this package, and since I'm such a baby, like I said, I'm only gonna take a very small amount to start, just to make sure, like, okay, you know, my body can handle this. Like, even though I know that it's not gonna cause crazy symptoms, I just, in the back of my mind, the anxiety is like, you know, what is this going to do? Because I've never taken it before. So I'm going to take half of a half, so it will be 2.5 milligrams. And then maybe tonight I'll take like the other 2.5, and then maybe tomorrow I'll take 5 milligrams, try out the 5 milligrams for a couple days, then go up to 10, you know what I mean? Like low and slow. That way I just get my body accustomed. I can kind of monitor how I'm feeling, if I feel like it's taking away any type of anxiety and worry. I also deal with like a lot of back pain and stuff. So my neck, my upper back, my lower back, I sometimes get headaches. And in the mornings specifically, I always wake up feeling like really groggy, like my back hurts to get out of bed. I usually have like a slight touch of a headache. So we'll just kind of monitor it until I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. You know, if it works for me, if it doesn't work for me, type of thing. All right, so I'm going to open this. You guys, I'm so nervous to take the first bite, but I'll be doing it, you know, on camera, so you'll all be with me. Oh boy, anxiety is racing already. All right, so, you know what I mean? Just some chocolate there. Make this easier on myself. All right, so this piece has 10 milligrams, so I'm gonna cut it in half. Oh boy. I don't have a sharp knife. All right, obviously I'm taking the smaller half. So I'm gonna cut it again to get the 2.5. All right, so I've got my little 2.5 pieces. All right, so it doesn't happen immediately, and my daughter's like, so then why are you scared? Because I am, like, this is just what I deal with. So I've got my little square here. What? Like, I'm already like psyching myself up. Dude, this is like okay. Tastes like chocolate. But like my adrenaline is going because I'm like, I don't know. I guess I want something to work so badly. I'm like nervous how my body will react or if I'll feel a certain way. So like I said, I'm just starting out with the 2.5. I'll take the other 2.5 tonight. Tomorrow I'll do 5. And then in a few days I'll do the 10 and increase from there. Once I know like my body can handle it. So I at least did it. That was the first step, right? I at least ate that. There's probably people that are literally thinking like, oh my God, this girl is freaking crazy. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's CBD, it's natural. I mean, even THC is natural. But this is what happens and what goes through a person with anxiety's mind. So I took it. It tastes good. I'm doing this before I move on to like any type of tincture or anything. But yeah, well, we'll see, guys. Praying.